Hi, my name is Matthew Wilson. This video I want to go over the very introductions, the very basics of JavaScript. I'm going to assume that that you know nothing about JavaScript, know nothing about software development or how to get started, where to get started, and I'm going to cover the very basics, show you how you can enter your first code using Chrome on a computer, either a laptop or a desktop computer. A phone or a tablet's not going to work for this because we need something that is something called a console, which is available on Chrome on a desktop or a laptop. I have a website, mattw.me, matw.me. You can see it up here on the screen. It is going to, these videos are going to parallel basically what I enter on that website, the blog post. You can see we're starting here at the very beginning, and we'll kind of sort of go from there. Alright, so my first post was about how to use the console. So if you read through here, it'll parallel what I'm going to say here pretty much. Alright, so the console is this really neat tool that's available on Chrome. So if you're not using Chrome web browser, you probably want to do that if you're following along here with me, because it's going to make more sense. It's going to line up more directly with what I am saying. To pull up the console in the web development tools, that's called devTools, you're going to put your cursor somewhere on the screen and you're going to right click. You'll see this little menu here, and then at the very bottom you'll see inspect. When you click on inspect, it'll bring up this little menu here. Now this menu can be on the right hand side of your screen, can be on the bottom, can be on the left, just depending upon how it's set up. I think by default it starts at the bottom, and you'll see you have different tabs here. You have the elements tabs, which is what comes up by default on mine. This tab is really neat because it lets you see the different HTML elements that make up the screen that you're viewing, or the website that you're viewing. As you move your cursor over the sections of the code here, it'll actually highlight the section of code. It'll actually highlight on the screen what the code is responsible for. So up here we have this title, the beginning. This is a H2 tab, and we see here if I hover my cursor over to H2, it will actually highlight that tag on the website, or highlight that section on the website called the beginning. But most of what I want to talk about is in the console. So let's click on the console tab, and you'll see here it's a blank screen with a little flashing cursor here. Just wanted to check something there. And you can actually enter in code here and run it. So it got me a little error there. You can just type whatever you want, and you can see it responds to what you enter. And the first thing I want to talk about is you can do math in the console here. Now as I'm scrolling, you'll see that it console logs some things out. This is called logging, by the way. This is a WordPress site, and it looks like when you scroll on the page, it prints the word handling out. It probably means that it's handling a scroll event, something like that. If this bothers us, we can just click here the clear console button, this little, and it will clear all that away. I'll scroll back up the top here. Alright, so let's enter our first little bit of code. As I said, it can be used as a calculator. We can do 2 plus, forgetting to hold the shift key, 2 plus 2, and we don't have to add the equal sign, just 2 plus 2, and we hit enter, and it gives us a 4. Now the strange thing, we can do addition, we can do multiplication, we can do division. 4 divided by 4 equals 1, of course. But the strange thing about math in JavaScript and some other programming languages is it doesn't always equal what you'd think it would. It has some weird weird features, especially when dealing with floating numbers, floating or non-integers like 0.1 plus 0.2 you would think would be 0.3, but it's not. It's actually 0.3000, a bunch of zeros and then followed by a 4. This is because of the way JavaScript does math. It actually rounds non-integers in a particular way. It uses something called floating point math. Okay, everything on your screen here is made up of strings. Well, let's see, everything, mostly everything, yeah. So we can declare a variable, or we can declare a string. If we just type in I am a string and hit enter, we're going to get an error. That's because when you enter in a string in JavaScript, you need to start or end the string in quotes. So we can use double quotes or single quotes, and we'll use double quotes here. I am a string, and we'll hit enter, and it just repeats itself. I am a string. Well, that's not very useful now, is it? So it would be nice if we had some way of storing this string. We need to do something called declaring a variable. Now, to declare a variable, there's a few ways, but we will use the var keyword. Var declares a variable, and we're going to call this variable my string, and we're going to use, you can call it whatever you want. It doesn't have to be my string, but today we'll call it my string equals. And then here we enter our string inside quotes. I am a new string. And so now we've set the variable my string equal to I am a new string. And we can retrieve this string by typing my string and hitting enter, and you see it produces the text I am a new string. I'm scrolling down here a little bit. This is my notes for the video as well, so you can check out mattdebbie.me and kind of sort of read through this as well, and it'll help you follow through with exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so strings, we can actually combine strings. Let's make a new string called var my name, and we're going to set it equal to Matthew Wilson. And let's create another variable called intro, like an introduction. Intro equals my name is. Alright, now so we have two variables here, intro and my name, and now we can see maybe we have a little bit more usefulness here, because maybe we can combine these two together to produce a greeting that says my name is Matthew Wilson. So let's try that. To concatenate two strings, we use the plus sign. So let's do intro plus my name and see what that prints out. Well, that's not quite right, is it? Okay, so in order to fix this, there's a couple of options. We can either add a string in between intro and my name with a space, or we can add a space at the end of intro, or we can add a space at the beginning of my name. To add a space at the beginning of intro, we could just reassign intro to equal oops, I forgot my quotes there. My name is, then add our space and do our ending quotes. But how much fun is that? And I don't like to type. So there's a special tool called the assignment operator, and it adds to something whatever we type after it, and it's plus equals. So to add something to the end of intro, we would do intro plus equals, and then we will add our space between quotation marks. When we hit enter, intro now equals my name is, then a space. So now we can do and get the response that we want, intro plus my name, and we will get my name is Matthew Wilson. So that's strings, the very introduction to it. Not a whole lot of usefulness there by itself, but there is one little cool trick I'll show you here before we go. There's a special object, it's called an object here, that's already in your console. It's the document object, and you can enter document.title and add a new string, and let's say document.title equals my website. And when you hit enter here, look what happened. It changed this right up here at the top left, the tab name, to my website, because the document title is what sets that. So if we want to change that, we can enter whatever we want. Document title equals hello world, and it gets updated here. Okay, thanks for watching. I'll do another video here real soon on arrays. Arrays are lists. You can put a list of strings together and call it an array of strings, and we'll be going over like a grocery list kind of example in the next video. Go ahead and read up on it if you want on the blog. I'm at debbie.me. There's the blog post on it already. And I'll catch you then. Thanks for watching. Send me a comment if you like. I'll try to get to my comments as quickly as possible. And happy to answer any questions that you may have. Thanks again.